So obviously it's being organized, like you said, being methodical in your routine in the morning, eating well, but lots of people do that and aren't successful. So give us some tips.
Quick tips. Number one, protect the asset. You have to have an exercise practice. I think that if you were to choose just either, say, double-handed kettlebell swing, sumo deadlift, or overhead squat, and just if you practice one of those a few times a week, you're pretty well covered. But really focusing on mobility. The second thing is you're the average of the person or the people you associate with most. And a good trick that I figured out a while back, someone told me about, was volunteer for organizations. So what I did to build a network here in Silicon Valley was volunteered for business organizations that brought in incredible speakers. So whether it was the Indus Entrepreneur or Silicon Valley blah, blah, blah association, volunteer, do an incredible job, never be late, always be early, kind of Marine style, and ask for additional responsibility, because volunteers usually think they don't have to perform well because they're not getting paid. So be the opposite of that. And I got to the point within a few months where I knew no one, I was just fresh out of college, and then I got to produce an event. And so I got to reach out to all the speakers I wanted to develop personal relationships with. And it was a really straightforward shortcut to developing a really great network. Other tips would be...
That's a big one, though. Let me just interrupt that one, because my whole life I've been building businesses and trying to recruit, in some ways, volunteers. Yeah. Because in the early days when you're building a business, you have no money to pay people, and I try to say to them, just stick it out. Like, take one extra step, work a little harder, and that's really what you're saying.
Yeah, just go, and it doesn't even have to be an extra mile, really. It's like, show up 10 minutes early.
Yeah.
And
just stand out.
And just stand out, yeah, and do a little bit extra. And don't...
That was a smart move.
Yeah, and don't only fix the problems that you're assigned. So if I saw a problem that was easy for me to fix, I'd say, oh, well, I know you told me just to, let's say, hand out the tickets and ask, clean up empty glasses, but I also noticed this, so I asked them to bring in extra iced tea, and they're like, oh, it's just a tiny little thing, but it's extra.
Sure.
Closely related to that, I would say that people ask me, let's say if you're looking for a job or you're looking to learn skill set that will translate to entrepreneurship, people ask me, like, what's the next hot industry? And what I always say is, don't worry about that. Find any company that's, say, 10 to 30 people and growing really quickly. Doesn't matter what the industry is, but if you can get a job working directly for the deal makers, whoever those people are, the CEO, COO, director of business development, whatever, if you can observe master deal makers in a fast-growing company, take that job.